Hi everyone, my name is Cash. Welcome to my channel Cloud Soldier. You guys must have seen my earlier videos about design and implementing pipeline CI/CD pipeline in Azure DevOps. So today we will be starting a new section of this AZ400, which is design and implement infrastructure as a code using ARM templates. So I'm going to be using this thumbnail, which is created by one of my student, Omar. Omar, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Good, good. Thank you for this titles thumbnail. So we're going to be using that. Thank you very much again. So today, what we'll do, we will discuss about a little bit about what is infrastructure as a code, what is ARM template, and what is ARM template, and then what we'll do, I've got some references here which I'll put in YouTube descriptions. So after learning about a little bit ARM templates, what we'll do, we'll create a web app in Azure,
Yeah.
and then after that we will create a app plan service because web app is dependent on app plan service,
Yeah.
and I will go through the whole procedure before we do that. And we'll be using Visual Studio Code for that purpose, and I'll show you how to we use a code and why we need a code, why it is so important these days company using infrastructure as a code and the advantages and all that. And it will be really interesting section. So let's crack on. Okay, let's talk about a little bit ARM templates. Yeah,
Okay.
um, ARM template is ARM is for Azure Resource Manager,
Yeah.
Resource Rose Resource Manager. So if you remember that in past, we manage when we were doing our CI/CD pipeline. We were creating all these resources manually: Azure Virtual Machines, Web App, SQL databases. Remember,
Yeah.
we were going to the portal and we creating it manually, and then we using we were pushing our code to this virtual machine and databases. We inserting a table manually. We were creating a web app and SQL database. But in Azure
Hmm.
ARM template, we will so basically it is also called infrastructure as a code, IAC. So that means in our future lessons of this section where we are designing and implementing infrastructure as a code, we will be deploying all these resources using a script or a code. And in ARM template is for Azure,
Yeah.
is for Azure. So this is for Azure, and so basically it's kind of like a code, and we deploy that resources, any resources of Azure into our Azure platform, such as virtual machines, web apps, storage, whatever is required. You can do this with a code. The good thing about this, that it is an idempotent. This is a very important word. I, if my spelling is wrong, uh, excuse me. Idempotent means repeatable.
Repeatable. Okay.
So you can use the same code again and again and again. Say, for example, you create this virtual machines and its name is cache VM01. So next time when you use the same script, you can just change the variable name to like Omar VM01, and rest of the stuff is same, and it will create a new machine for you. So you don't have to go to the portal, fill all the boxes and everything. Just press one button, it create for you. So it's idempotent. A lot of companies, they ask you this question in the interview. What does idempotent mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, yeah, I was just about to repeat that means it's repeatable
Repeatable. That's
because
it. That's it. Repeatable. So what we'll do in our future courses, future lessons, that whatever we're doing here, we'll use IAC as ARM template, and ARM template is in written in Java, so the extension of these files are
JSON.
.json, yeah. And what we'll do, we will create this code and use as a build artifact,
Yeah.
same like that we did in our for SQL app, remember?
Yes.
And we use this build artifact for our releases. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Let's talk about something else. So advantages of ARM templates. Yeah.
Mhm.
So advantages. So we can create when we can create our infrastructure. Say for example, um, you can make changes. Say for, and so basically with IAC, you can also manage
Yeah.
infra. Manage means, say for example, you created this VM, yeah,
Yep.
and the size is DS2 VS1, something like that, yeah. And your manager comes to you, Cash, we need to uh, increase the size of this machine. So you will go to your ISC code and just change that property or the SKU of the machine to DS3 or whatever, yeah,
Yep.
VS2, and then you reapply, redeploy again, redeploy, and it will change the virtual machine size. So you don't have to delete it, create it new and everything. So um, you can make changes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can make changes. Also, replicating the same infrastructure across multiple environments. What's this mean? So, for example, you have got test environment,
Yes.
then you've got development environment, then you have got
Pre-deployment.
pre-state, yeah, you get pre-prod, pre-production,
Yes.
and the main one is prod.
Production. Yep.
Yeah. So you created this VM over here and you tested it, all you done, you tested, all working fine. So you can use the same script
Mm.
for this environment, for this environment, and finally for this environment.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage of that. And anybody can pick up your script from your team and just changes in the variable and they can use that as a template.
Yep.
Okay. Sometime you might not document properly how you build. So this is like, say for example, um, you did not document properly. Some people like create virtual machines and all that, and they don't document this. How, what size was it? What CPU was it? What all that. So when in ISC, you can see all the properties what's been created, and you can change it accordingly.
Okay.
Okay, so we just go to next one.
So to put it in few words, it's extremely versatile and it
That's
can be reused.
perfect, perfect. So in our in this our exercise, in this our lab, what we will do, we will create a So basically, talking about that, mentioned that in development environment we have web app and SQL Server. Same thing in staging, and same thing in our production. So we can use the same IAC across all these environments. So they are called lower environments, these two,
Yes.
and this is main environment. This is like prod. So if somebody talk to you in the office, in the company, Omar, can you deploy this in lower environment? So you'll think straight away like a test or development or staging. So development is also sometimes people call it test environment. Same thing as they're developing something. Yeah,
All right.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? So there are few tools in the market where you can use infrastructure as a code. One of them is uh, ARM templates, which we're discussing now,
Yeah.
and recently, I think it's million about 2 years ago, or I'm not sure exactly. They have also created a new declarative language called Bicep,
Bicep.
which is quite ARM template. A lot of people still use in the companies, but they are moving towards Bicep in Azure.
Mm-hmm.
But Terraform is also very popular because, tell me why it was popular, because it is multi-cloud platform.
Multi-cloud. Yeah.
That means that means
It can be used for more than Azure,
yes, so it can be used in Azure, uh,
AWS.
GCP, AWS, Oracle, any
Yeah.
provider, yeah, can be
Yeah.
used. It's quite multiple. But it's good to because we are doing AZ400, so we have to learn about ARM templates and how do we use it. Apart from that, same thing we can deploy using Azure CLI and
Yeah.
Azure PowerShell modules. As we're doing 400, so we will do a lab around. If I show you here, let's see. Yes, so we will be using a lab. In this lab, we will create first our web app,
Yeah.
and before web app is dependent on app
Uh, app plan
app
service.
service plan.
Yeah.
So we will also create using the ARM template, and then we will deploy this as a template. So you can see we can define infrastructure code, and we use ARM templates. So this we already discussed. This is a JavaScript object notation file that actually contains the definition of the instruction. You can store the ARM template in your source code. So we
Mhm.
can store your ARM templates. So for example, you create a script for VM, yeah. So
Yeah.
that script you can store in your repo, you can store in your template in Azure, yeah.
Yeah.
So like I was telling you, they also created a new language called Bicep
Yes.
that has the same thing, but
Mhm.
it's quite user friendly.
Yeah.
So Bicep is just it's easier to use than comparing to ARM template. But like we'll start from ARM templates and see how we get on. Yeah. So just see you in
Yeah.
a second.
Okay.
So right. So these are the links. If you go to see a about ARM templates, if I just copy, and I will put this in our chat also. So understanding the structure and syntax of ARM templates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, you don't have to remember by heart or anything. It's quite easy. We will show you how to use in our visual code. So basically, uh, we can copy this and and use in vscode, or we will install a plugin in our VS Code which will give us straight away this whole schema. So in this schema, it will get the latest API, language version, content version, API profile, parameters, variable, functions, resources, outputs. Don't worry about too much. So we will use today. What we'll do like most easiest way to create our resources, and then in future we'll make it more complex, starting parameters, variables, function, resource, and everything. So today we'll use only this resources and content version mostly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the one link. Then the other link, what we for our um, so you know that to create a web app, we need it is dependent on plan app service, app plan
Yes.
service. So this is it. So you can see this is documentation from Microsoft, and you got here choice of what you can do: bicep, arm templates, terraform. Yeah, and so this is for Microsoft Web Forms, Web Server Forms. So same thing is an app plan service, plan app service. What is plan app service? So plan app service is like an infrastructure provided by Microsoft, where you can install our web app. You know, in virtual machines, remember we used to create a virtual machines and then install IIS server, install .NET 6
Yes.
and all that. So but when we create a plan service, app plan service, it's all done automatically by Microsoft. So
Max.
we'll be using this code. So it looks complicated, but it's very easy when you understand. I think you already understand most of the pieces. So we'll use that. So this is the first thing we do, because web app is dependent on this. Then we will use our uh, web app.
Okay.
You can use in any you can use in any like sequence. You can create web app first, or um, one second, I can copy. Oh, just click it. It works. Okay, website. This is the web app, yeah?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, you create this first. And so Azure Resource Manager is smart enough to pick up the dependencies, what's required. So it will create app plan service first for you, and then a web app, Azure web app for you. Only we need to mention in our web app that web app is dependent on app plan service, and it will create app plan service, and then after that Azure web app. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so let's start now. So if I go to our Visual Studio, and we install extension called, what's it called, ARM.
Yes. Tool. Yeah, it's the first one. First result.
Yep, this one. Yeah, install that. Installing. So these are all the extensions you can so this installed. Okay, so if you go back to our folder and we click open folder,
Yes.
uh, so what before we do that, just let's create a folder in our C drive, and we call it say call it template.
Yeah.
And now we open from this file, open folder, and go to C, and template. Can you see template? Yeah, template. Yeah.
Yeah.
Select folder, and so we go now. We create a file called template dot JSON.
Yeah.
No, my apologies, sorry. It's JS, not GA. JSON. Yeah, so you can see that straight away came in with this squiggly bracket.
Mm.
Yeah, and because we installed our plugin or
Yeah.
extension, so remember I was showing you the schema with all the bits and pieces like parameters function. So if you just type ARM, so that gives you straight away, see,
Yes.
so as soon as we typed in RM, it gave the whole schema of JSON template.
Yeah. Okay.
So right, let's code in. Like I said, after installing this plugin, we able
Yeah.
to get the schema for ARM templates. So in our case, what we are doing now, we are creating a web app, and web app is dependent on plan service, app plan service. So to do this, we search for resources here, enter, and if we search for say web app or plan application plan service,
Yeah.
here we go. So it already kind of gave us the code. So we call it, our plans is called apps plan service. You can change it, you can call it, we can call it cache. And so this is the type, this is the name, this is a version, latest
Yeah.
version. Also, if you do not get this, we can go to our Microsoft website and look for plan service here.
Yeah.
So this is structure, sorry, and this is a server farm. So what do we need now? We just need these four things at the moment. So I don't want to complicate things. So location and copy that. Actually, it has given us anyway, so I think this is easier. We don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
We leave it like this. So we call cache service, resource group. You know that this is a function, so this means
Yes.
resource group. So for example, I'll show you now. So we do brackets and do resource group function. See, and do, what do we have? What's it called? Sorry. So this and dot location. Dot location, yeah. So
Yeah.
so this means use this location where our resource group is created.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So okay. So we in this template we are not creating resource groups. So in our future exercises we will also create a resource group, but just assume that we have already created a resource group in our portal. So there's an existing portal, the existing resource group already there, because when we create in future other resources, doesn't mean you need to create resource group all the time. So there's already a resource group. You know what a resource group means? It's a logical place where you can keep all your resources.
All right.
So then we go to SKU. SKU means like stock unit, what kind of size it is. We keep it one, and F1, which is a free tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got a capacity is one. Tags, you can call it, if you want to. It's good to have it. So call it service plan. Yeah. And properties again. So this is we mentioning that this is the name of this apps plan service. So this is, we can call it, copy that. Okay. Now we adding another resource. So comma, enter. Sorry, not here. Comma. Let's see where's the comma. So after properties, yes, so one more bracket, and then comma. Okay. And so this is the code for, we need exactly same thing. We go back to our this time website and go to code and just copy these four things.
Okay.
Copy, go back again, and I'm just confused with this one a little bit. I'll show you now. Right, so I'll show you again what we are stuck. If I go back to right, so this is what we have done. um, just use it. What is the default name?
Okay.
There's no point. Oops. Okay, let's start again. So
Okay.
we do plan, plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Um, plan, plan. So we just click that. So that's done. So we leave it like this. And the next
Yes.
resource, what do we do is after that, comma,
Comma. Yeah.
and new curly brackets, and then we type WebApp. That's it. So we can call
Mhm.
it a cache web app 777. We're gonna make it unique, and app service plan. We can call it say 777. Change this also. 777. And actually, what we can do, Control F and search for app service plan, and we look NV777 and change this to replace with app service plan 888.
880.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just replace it. Done. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
done. And same thing, we do it here. We just copy this.
Okay.
Or we can do same thing again. App service plan 1,
Yes.
change to all that. That's done. Yep.
Yeah.
So
There is a thing in the video he did not add.
tags is just like, is extra things. So the reason we put tags in it, so we can see who created that resource, which engineer created, and it helps for your cost saving and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so next step, what do you come back? Okay, like you said, we don't need these tags for timing to avoid.
Yeah. It's extra stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So take this off today. This depends on, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so close that. So we know that this is a function, and in this function also we are dependent on our plan, app plan service. So we are doing a type, the name, and
Hmm.
the type is this one, line number 10. So in function is type is function, we added this bit, and in the name we added app service plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we need to deploy this onto our Azure portal. So one of the way is that we just copy all that, and we go to our portal. And like we said, we have to create a resource group.
Yes.
That's where we put the function is. So if you go to resource group, create, and resource group, create resource group, and we just call it a template group, grp. Our location is UK South. Yeah, we don't need tags. Do it, create, variation pass, click create.
Okay.
So it is created, and now we go back to home again and create a resource again, and this time we do template, and template is, yes, so we choose this one, template deployment, create, and just go with your build your own template in the editor, select that, and we just delete this and copy the one we just created from the Visual Studio Code. Yeah, so cache web app, so properties is cache web 7, and that's fine. Yeah, save it. So it picked up automatically. It's going to create in this region because we created a resource group. So it will deploy our resources in this region, UK South.
Yeah.
If we just do review create and create. So this is our Microsoft template. It's loading. Deployment in progress. If we go to, so deployment is completed. If we go to our resource group, hey, can you see that?
Yeah.
So our app service plan created and our cache web app created by using an ARM template. Yes.
Yes.
So I hope this is informative for you guys. And so in this exercise, what we have done, we use ARM template, which is in JSON format, and deployed a template in our Azure portal, and we deployed these resources. So in our next exercise, what we'll do, we'll create SQL database and SQL server using
Yeah.
ARM template, and we'll join together with this web app for our next future pipelines. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.